Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Psychedelic Art Exchange channel. We're back again to talk about some exciting collectibles that are running in our November mega auction, which is open until Sunday, November 23rd at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Obviously, we've got a lot of posters, handbills, flyers, all that galore, but we also have a number of vintage underground newspapers, comics, and some stuff that's kind of off the beaten path this time around that we definitely want to show you. So let's get into it. Also, I've got Stella and Toki here today. If you're interested in some special guests, the stars of the show.
The studio audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Katie said, really some of the highlights in this sale, at least to me, are the publications, the periodicals, the smaller stuff that we don't ordinarily see is peppered in between all of the wonderful poster offerings. And first and foremost is something that doesn't look much from the size, but this is really one of the finest pieces in the sale. This is original concert program from when the Grateful Dead played Egypt. And there's this itinerary that for people that traveled to see them there. So there were enough freaks that put together a tour. Anyhow, this is it's a wonderful piece, and it's kind of hard to see here, but this is an authentic piece of Grateful Dead history. Their trip to Egypt in '78 is pretty well known. I mean, it was as much a vacation for the band as it was anything else. It was very mystical, and they got pretty wild. There's that photo that, I don't know if you've seen, of Kesey flying a kite on top of the pyramid, that sort of. And the third night was, I think, a lunar eclipse, and there's this wonderful time-lapse photo of the moon going across the pyramids. That's I can't remember the name of Adrian Boot is the photographer. Anyhow, it wasn't really one of their finer performances, which is sort of typical for the Dead at big events. They never really showed up at big events for whatever reason. And also Billy had hurt his arm, so he was literally playing one-handed during the show, but they were all, they were having a good time. This was their vacation. It was really, if I could have been there, that would have been something. And my first show was just when they returned from that.
Yeah.
And
weren't they like getting eaten by mosquitoes or something? Was the story
there's all sorts of wonderful stories, and it's right around the time when allegedly Jerry started getting into dope, and so it was and I think he couldn't travel with it, so he was whatever. This is all lore and legend, but I mean, it's a real cool piece. I've seen the real poster. I mean, we've offered the poster done by Kelly many times, but once in a heritage auction there was this poster, and I'm still kicking myself for not trying to own it, because it was something that the crew brought back. It may be a one of a kind of treasure. But
well, don't be like Glenn and kick yourself over not bidding on this program, which is a first for us. We've never seen this before.
Really? Well, then here you go. So Grateful Dead Egypt program. And speaking of performances where the Grateful Dead really didn't pull off their best performance, this is an original Woodstock program where one of their notoriously worst shows, with stage not being grounded and Bobby getting shocked while he's high on acid and like freaking out. It wasn't a good time for them in the rain. Anyhow, but this is a gorgeous copy. I mean, this is really, really in fine shape. And if this is something you don't have, I mean, it shows up less than the poster does.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we sell different versions of that poster quite often, but this one's only 2 or 3 times, I want to say.
Yeah, likely. I've seen, all sorts of copies, and this really may be the best that that I've seen. But anyhow, moving on
It's an
to
artifact. Very
a
cool.
strange little thing. This is Promethean
Hmm.
Enterprises, and it was a underground comic fanzine. It had mainstream comics too, and it was published by a bunch of comic geeks in the day. Bud Plant, who had a mail order company that I bought from many years, was one of the publishers. And on the cover is Griffin's dung beetle, which it says in here that it wasn't used, and Griffin gave it to them for the publication. So I thought it was used on a Who handbill. I don't know I cannot remember the exact details, but the copy we know of was the one from Rick's
The commemorative one,
yes,
yeah.
which is it's one of the best posters we sell. But
Hmm.
anyhow, there's illustrations in here by Crumb and Moscoso and Greg Irons, and some interesting content. It's again in really good shape. And this, when I was collecting comics, this was a tough to come by book. And so if that's your passion at all, I would look at this piece.
It's very cool.
Now moving
Very.
on to underground papers. This is a lovely thing. This bound edition, facsimile edition of the San Francisco Oracle, and there's several copies of the Oracle in the sale as well, and they're all
Hmm.
high grade, is like this one with the Rick Griffin
Yeah.
cover. Yeah, it's in wonderful condition until I'm finished this presentation. No, but anyhow, yeah. Let me get it off to the side and just.
I mean, that's a favorite. That image was like printed on a poster a bit later on just because it was
Yeah, I
so
mean it's
beautiful.
it's one of Griffin's first works when he came to San Francisco,
Hmm.
and with this bound edition, there's also a portfolio of all the covers, so it's really quite nice. Here's one with Kesey.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, and as you can see, some of them are like the earlier ones are a little more like black and white focused, but I think there's only 12, they only ever did 12 issues. And about halfway through, they changed where they were printing them, and they were starting to get into like split fountain printing, which was very new. And then the covers just became super, super colorful. They're really beautiful.
Yeah, it was one of those staples of the Haight Ashbury community,
Mhm.
and really leafing through them is kind of fun. I mean, a lot of these old papers, if for nothing else, the advertisements are really something. We have this other one here in the sale that is the Haight Ashbury Tribune, and
Yeah.
this issue is heavily illustrated by John Thompson, and John Thompson was one of the more talented and more. I mean, he was very much into the mystical aspects of psychedelics, where there were a bunch of different groups floating around. I mean, there were the pranksters that were all in it for the fun and the weirdness, and then there was Thompson, who was trying to reach higher states of consciousness. I guess they all were, but the approach was different. This was a more, again, mystical view. And Thompson's
Mhm.
illustrations are all through this. And there's a piece on upcoming shows at the Straight Theater and whatnot. This is a really lovely piece. So if underground papers are your thing, this is a pretty pristine collection in the sale. So I look at it.
Yeah, there's more there. I mean, we can only show you a fraction of what we have. There's a bunch of other underground papers. There's even one from New York. Um,
The Berkeley Barb, which is more radical than this. It has that whole Berkeley edge to it, and the personal ads and stuff are a little bit weirder in the back.
I'm sure
But
it's
yeah,
fun to flip through. Yeah.
it really is. It's a time machine. More so, it brings more texture than just the posters, because the posters just relate to a time, a place, and an
Hmm.
event. This is much more deeply woven through the culture of what was going on.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're giving you something a little bit different to look at, something that might capture your interest in a bit of a different way. We love having, like different countercultural artifacts in the auction that aren't just posters. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of us are paper collectors. I mean, some people only buy posters. Some people
Mhm.
only get handbills, but paper in general has always been my corner of this world.
Yeah. Well, check it out. The auction and any links that you'll need are in the description below us. And thank you, as always, for tuning into our humble little YouTube channel and saying hello to the cats. The November mega auction is open until Sunday, November 23rd at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you back here very soon.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving.